Alright, does anyone even care about the fucking Twins anymore? I'm not sure I do. It's a nice summer day, afternoon, sit out, listen to a ball game, and they're getting swept. They're getting, what, I don't even fucking know, 7 nothing? Something like that. I think it's the 7th or 8th inning. They got swept in a fucking doubleheader yesterday. I mean, yeah, you want, like, this has been a lost season for a long time, but you want there to be some improvement, like, during the season. You know, show something that there's some improvement. There's nothing that's improved. I don't know what they do. I've been wondering this now for the last couple of days, especially. What do they do between games? Are they doing any sort? Like, I know the season's lost, but you're still professionals. Are they doing any? Are they doing any sort of like fielding practice? Are they in the batting cages? Are the pitching coaches working with the pitchers? Are they doing anything? Because I don't know that they are. Because it's all the same shit. Like yesterday, um, you know, the second game of the doubleheader, they lose it because Andrelton Simmons, who was supposed to be a defensive genius, he was supposed to be the whole reason we signed him. Like, it made not much of a hitter, but he's such a defensive whiz that it makes up for it. Well, it hasn't been making up for it, and he lost the game yesterday because for some reason, as Nick Gordon's running in to make a catch that would have sent it to the ninth, because it was a seven inning doubleheader. So it was in the eighth, which is technically extra innings for that. It would have sent it to the next inning. Instead, Simmons is running back there, tilting his head back, running backwards. Gordon's running in, probably thinking, "What the hell is this guy doing? I'm gonna crash into him, and we're gonna get hurt." So he kind of has to hold up. Ball drops. Winning run scores. You know, they had a shot, Twins to score some runs earlier in that game. They get the bases loaded and grounded to a double play because it's Donaldson. That's all he does in those situations. He never gets he's one of the masters of hitting the nice solo home run and getting stuff in garbage time. Doesn't do shit when it matters. I guess if he doesn't have a chance to get in a public pissing contest with some pitcher, he's not interested in doing anything. Just awful shit. First game that was a shutout. They got, I think, 2 hits. They didn't do shit. Just the same old shit. They can't. It's gotten kind of back to the same thing. They can't score unless the ball's going over the fence, and they're not even hitting the ball over the fence much anymore. We've had some sparks from guys like Kirilloff, Larnack, Jeffers. They're just not doing it, and when they aren't hitting the ball over the fence, they aren't scoring runs because they can't bunch hits together because it's just the same old shit. There's no adjustments at all. They don't do anything to try to mix it up at all. That would require effort. And now today it's whatever, 7-0. Who knows what the final will be? But Jay Happ, starter, still holding on to some faint hopes that maybe he could fucking trade his ass for something here in a week or two. That ain't gonna fucking happen. He got shelled. I think he's on the hook for all 7 runs. For some reason, Rocco's stupid ass leaves him out there. I don't understand that. It didn't matter ultimately in the one yesterday, but you had Charlie Barnes making his first start in the majors. Pitched okay. Naturally, the one run he gave up was a leadoff home run to Robbie Grossman. We'll get to this former Twin thing. That just never stops. This thing with the former Twins, always killing them. Scope hit a home run today. Baddoo hit a triple, a bases clearing triple yesterday. Like, it's Baddoo, Grossman, Scope, 3 former Twins, and they've just been destroying them in this entire weekend. And of course, it never stops with these former Twins. I heard Lance Lynn's going to be pitching against the Twins now in this doubleheader tomorrow in Chicago. Guarantee he's going to probably throw a fucking shutout. these players must really fucking hate the Twins when they leave. That's my only theory, is that like they hate their time with the Twins, and when they leave, then they're desperate to just really get back at them. But the thing with Barnes yesterday, you know, it didn't matter because the Twins didn't score, but you got a guy making his first major league start. He's got 4 2/3. He's 1 out away from having, he could qualify for a win. I know pitcher wins, blah, blah, blah. It still matters to these guys to get their first major league win. And Rocco, for no reason whatsoever, goes and pulls him. And doesn't even pull him for like a good reliever. He put in Bo Burrows, who is also just up from AAA. So he's literally just making that pitching change for the sake of making a pitching change there, just to show everyone what a fucking genius he is with all of his analytics approach to the game. And, made it impossible for him to win. Made it impossible for Barnes to win. He wasn't going to win anyway, ultimately, but it's the principle of the thing that just drives me insane. He just does that all the time. But then today, Happ is getting fucking mutilated out there, and he leaves him out there for the whole fucking game. And any time a starting pitcher is going well, he has a quick hook, and when a starting pitcher is bad, he's got a long hook. I don't get it. I'm sure there's some reason. I mean, it doesn't matter as far as a win or a loss today, because they were going to fucking lose anyway. They probably aren't going to end up scoring. But it's just one thing after another. They had a chance to have a nice inning in the first inning. For some reason, Larnack tries to go to second base on a hit, gets thrown out. They have stupid base running mistakes. They have stupid fielding mistakes. They have, they'll have chances to score runs. They don't do it. They just, it's the total system failure. I mean, the phrase has been used before, but it's just what it is. But I think the alarming thing beyond just the team being a piece of shit this year is that they're showing no improvement in any of these areas. And this is a veteran team. Like, there are a lot of young guys playing, but overall this is a pretty veteran team. And they're showing no improvement during the season whatsoever in all these key areas. Now they pop up for a game basis here and there. I mean, they had a nice weekend last weekend, but they're fucking terrible at all these basic things, and they're not nothing's improved, nothing's getting better. I really question what is done between games or even during games to coaching things, preparation. What are they doing? Is Rocco too busy just worrying about planning his fucking wedding to actually be a manager of a baseball team? He's just looking at his little card that says, "Hey, this guy has to, pitch now because the analytics card says so," or "This guy has to come out now because the analytics card says so." There's no improvement in anything with this team, and that's the alarm. There's a lot of alarming shit with this franchise after what this disaster of a season's been. By the way, have you seen the fucking August schedule for the Twins? They are going to be lucky to win 5 games that month. It's all games against good teams. They got to play the fucking Yankees. They got to play Boston. They got to play the Brewers. They got to play the White Sox. They got to play even Cleveland. There's 1 or 2 other teams. Like, everybody they play is a contender or in a playoff spot right now in August. It's going to be fucking ugly, as if it isn't already ugly. I mean, they're about to get swept by the Detroit Tigers. Boy, it's bad. This is just it's a very infuriating, unlikable team, because I just think from the top down they just don't. I don't know if they care, and I don't know if they're smart enough to know what to do. It's like, are they smart enough to know that they're not smart? But it's a disaster. It doesn't matter if it's not like they were going to save the season if they went and swept Detroit, but there's nothing. There's just nothing. Even some of the young guys that have come up and have shown some promise. They've kind of started going back the other way. Larnack was looking pretty good. He's kind of going back the other way. Kirilloff has been okay, but no, certainly nobody is like excelling. A couple of the young pitchers have come up and have shown some promise. But of course, if a young pitcher is up and pitching well, Rocco's dumbass pulls him really fast. He's done that with Bailey Over. He did it with Barnes. Obviously, he's done it. Going back to last year's playoffs, he'll yank Barrios and Maeda in the middle of dominant playoff starts. God, I wish it's not going to happen. There's no chance it's going to happen. But God, I wish we could get rid of Rocco this year after this season, because he is so fucking terrible. It's mind-boggling how bad of a manager he is. He's just an empty vessel leading this team to nowhere. And I just don't think they're going to have much chance at rebounding even next year if they keep this guy. And they may not want to keep. Maybe they will want to compete next year. Maybe they're going to just plan on a long rebuild. But man, this is just. It's like in a season of low points. This weekend could be the lowest. Just because, at least you went into the All-Star break. You had the win streak. You had that great game last Sunday that I was at. It was a really great game. You went into the All-Star break on a positive note. And now you come out and you play. One of the worst collective series, if not the worst collective series that you've played all season. And you've gotten just humiliated by the Detroit Tigers, who were not trying to compete this year. You've got them and the Royals, and these two teams have not even made any secret of the fact that they were not trying to contend this year, and you might finish behind both of them. And you were supposed to compete for certainly a division title and maybe do something in the playoffs, and it's as big of a belly flop as we've ever seen in this town. And I genuinely don't know that they realize it, because they just keep making the same mistakes, the same coaching mistakes, player mistakes, errors, bad hitting, bad clutch hitting, you name it. And boy, it's you kind of run out of new ways to phrase it and say it, because they've been so bad all season. But this is a fucking catastrophe, and I don't know how they get out of this with this manager and with this coaching staff, because I think they're just a collection of fucking morons. And it's on the players too, because like I said, this is a very veteran team. You have guys, like a Josh Donaldson or an Andrelton Simmons, who are supposed to know better and they don't, or Jay Happ, who's supposed to be better and he's not. And there's no answers to any of it, because these guys, as a collection, are not smart enough to get the answers. And I think they just had the final out, so that's official. Sweet. 7-0, 2 shutouts. Granted, one of them was in a fucking 7-inning game, but you know damn well they weren't scoring yesterday. Against the Detroit Tigers, the mighty Detroit Tigers. And now they get to go play the White Sox, and then they get the Angels. It's gonna be fun. Fun stuff. Yeah, this is how we baseball.